Here's innovation from Goyal that takes you further. New Goyal Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyal has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyal Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyal. Good energy.
You're most welcome to a new era of banking at GCB Bank, where there are no long queues at the bank. Because you can enjoy swift access to your account anywhere, anytime with GCB e-banking solutions. Experience a world where you have financial convenience from a bank with integrity. A world where you can focus on your business and trust us to provide you with limitless business banking solutions that will take you to new heights. When you need a loan, sooner is better than later. So we give it to you in 24 hours to make sure the experience is memorable. Whatever you need, sir, we have an exceptional team of diverse professionals ready to serve you with a smile. Trust us with your money. We are bigger, better, safe, and ready to take you places beyond banking.
GCB Bank, your bank for life.
There's always that one individual so selfless and caring. The world still has caring people. Getting unexpected help is a joy for us. That's why at Prudential Life, we've introduced Ultimate, the no-lapse guarantee on your Premier and Classic farewell plans. The biggest challenge for most clients having a funeral policy is the fact that when they are unable to pay premiums due to financial challenges, the policies elapse and the full benefit falls off. We have introduced the no-lapse guarantee on our funeral plans. This ensures that you don't lose your full benefit during challenging financial moments. Prudential. Always listening, always understanding.
Central University, we are not just giving theoretical knowledge, but also real-life practical immersion. Our projects and research are targeted at solving real-life problems within our built and a natural environment. My name is Che Joseph Bafo, an architecture student. The faculty and facilities available to us make us industry ready. The project I'm working on recently won an award when my colleagues and I visited the Netherlands. Central University makes you industry ready.
Here's innovation from Goyal that takes you further. New Goyal Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyal has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyal Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyal. Good energy.
You're most welcome to a new era of banking at GCB Bank, where there are no long queues at the bank. Because you can enjoy swift access to your account anywhere, anytime with GCB e-banking solutions. Experience a world where you have financial convenience from a bank with integrity. A world where you can focus on your business and trust us to provide you with limitless business banking solutions that will take you to new heights. When you need a loan, sooner is better than later. So we give it to you in 24 hours to make sure the experience is memorable. Whatever you need, sir, we have an exceptional team of diverse professionals ready to serve you with a smile. Trust us with your money. We are bigger, better, safe, and ready to take you places beyond banking.
GCB Bank, your bank for life.
You're most welcome to a new era of banking.
There's always that one individual so selfless and caring. The world still has caring people. Getting unexpected help is a joy for us. That's why at Prudential Life, we've introduced Ultimate, the no-lapse guarantee on your Premier and Classic farewell plans. The biggest challenge for most clients having a funeral policy is the fact that when they are unable to pay premiums due to financial challenges, the policies elapse and the full benefit falls off. We have introduced the no-lapse guarantee on our funeral plans. This ensures that you don't lose your full benefit during challenging financial moments. Prudential. Always listening, always understanding.
To the Nsmq review show. It's a pleasure to come your way with yet another show that promises to be exciting and engaging. My name is Emmanuel Jivenu. The last 3 days of one age-stage competition has produced some results that will blow your mind. The likes of St. Augustine's College were able to beat Infantipim School as well as Swedro in a contest that many have described as the final of finals. Others say it's the much anticipated contest. But did it live up to expectations? We have all the analysis here on the review show and other competitions at the 1A stage. Already, we've had 17 schools, 17 seeded schools losing their slot to new schools that were coming from the preliminaries. What may have accounted to this fall? We have all the analysis here on the review show, and in studio are two individuals who have appeared on the show before, and it's a pleasure to have them again. I have the Managing Director of Primetime Limited, organizers of the National Science and Maths Quiz in studio, in the person of Nana Ikuya Ankuma Asari. Madam, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you again.
It's a pleasure to be back.
Thank you very much. And to my far left is James William Akampulimba. He is the coordinator for Tamale SHS, National Science and Maths Quiz. He's the coach, actually. Sir, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
MD, I would want to start with you. We've had 9 days of preliminary stage, 1/8 stage of competition. From the perspective of organizers, would you say that the competition has lived up to expectation?
Oh, I think on the whole, yes, it has, because it's been full of surprises. And for us, that is a good thing, because when it's unpredictable, then it keeps everybody glued to proceedings and following to see what's happened on each day. So I would say it's lived up to expectations. Some of the contests were really fiery. I recall the Opokuwari Kumasi Anglican contest, fireworks. We've had the Nsmq St. Augustine's one. That was also a real, you know, it was a real bomb. The whole place erupted in chanting and singing. You should have seen the drums outside, and we even had viewing outside on the car park. And people were seeing Jama lying on the ground.
You see, the fear was that on a day where Ghana was playing a contest, many were skeptical as to whether this competition would pull the masses. But on the day, we saw the auditorium full to capacity. Yes. Even the outside, the giant screen, you saw many people also there, also watching. Will you say that probably the pairing may have contributed to this thing?
Well, absolutely. I would say so. I would say so. Because we have had other contests which have been quite quiet. In terms of audience participation, we've had fewer people coming here, very few people outside, you know, watching the competition from outside. Sometimes the hall doesn't even get full, but with Nsmq and Augustine's, yes, there definitely was going to be a crowd here. It wasn't the only contest like that. We also had that kind of atmosphere with the last one, with the Chimote School, and yes, yeah.
Yeah, so James, what would you also say would be your takeaway from the 1/8 stage of competition? Did it live up to expectation vis-a-vis comparing it to last year's?
Oh yes, it has. It has even lived above expectation. Because if you compare last year's 1A finals to this year's one have been very competitive. And I think it may be due to the pot system that we have used, where the seeded schools were paired against winners from the preliminaries, and then in that order, I mean, in terms of strength. Yes. So that has contributed a lot to the competitiveness of the 1A stage.
So, and you see that 17 schools, seeded schools, have lost their seed to schools coming from the prelims. In fact, today, all the seeded schools lost their sport. The likes of Goyal, finalists, last year's finalists, West African SHS also lost their seed. St. Louis also lost their seed. I mean, the pairing, some of them have complained about the pairing. They say, I mean, it's not fair. Some also say it's fair. But MD, let me come to you. What thinking went into introducing this porting system?
Well, we wanted to make sure that each stage of the competition would be very competitive. We wanted to make sure that we could balance out the contests such that we wouldn't have contests with strong schools only meeting too early or weak schools only meeting, because then it affects the balance. And with the pot system, we've made it such that every contest has a seeded school, a winner from the preliminary round, and then the highest scoring losing school, which means that the stakes, the competition is going to be a lot, stronger. You realize that even with some of the contests which were weaker contests compared to others, and by weaker I mean lower scores than others, those scores were close.
Absolutely.
Look at today's contests, for example, someone winning with maybe 26, but the scores were close.
We're very close.
So it kind of balances out the strength.
Absolutely.
Kind of.
Absolutely.
You can't control for everything,
Absolutely.
but as best as we can, it's balanced it out a bit. No one gets a free ride through, and no one has to, break down mountains, swallow up seas, and so on before getting to the finals. It's fairly balanced.
It tells you that going to the quarterfinals, it's going to be very, very keen. Looking at, because it's more or less like the best that are progressing to the next stage, and it will be same when it gets to the grand finale.
Yes.
I want us to look at yesterday's contest.
Right.
The Fantipem, St. Augustine's and Swedro. It was a Central Region derby.
Yes.
I mean, we know that these schools, or the Central Region, is one of the powerhouses when it comes to the National Science and Maths quiz. Central Region and Ashanti Region. And on a day that you have 3 schools from the same region with good run, would you have said that Fantipem would have gone down so easily from day one? James?
No. Because if you consider the science and maths quiz for some years now, Fantipem has been very consistent in terms of their performance. Final, semi-final, and so on and so forth. So I thought they were going to do better than they did yesterday, but hey, St. Augustine's beat Fantipem in the Central Regional Championship organized by Primetime. So I think they lived up to expectation, and they made the day.
MD, this is the first time in 12 years that Fantipem is going to the regionals.
Well, actually, the regional competitions began in 2014.
Okay.
So, but yes, even when we came back in 2012, and then we added on more schools in 2013, moving up from 40 to 81, we had a number of schools on standby. And so there were 5 schools that had never been to the preliminaries, the regionals, and fighting through to the preliminaries. That's Prempeh College is the only one from Ashanti region.
Wesley Girls
High School,
UP, University
Adisado College, and University Practice, and Fantipem. And now Fantipem has fallen, so that elite group has shrunk by 1. But it was such an exciting contest, and I'm actually pretty happy for St. Augustine's, because when we did the regional championship, we did a maiden
in the Central Region and Greater Accra region.
We did a pilot over there. They were the winners. So I'm happy, because it means that they really were the champions.
The reason
they proved,
why
because and at this round they are the highest. They have the highest score, of 58 points. Absolutely. So I think that we did a great job of identifying the top school from the region this year, and by all means, it's St. Augustine's.
Yeah, and one thing I always tell people is that in your weaknesses, in your down moments, you will be able to, that is where you should identify your shortcomings and improve on it. For 3 good years, St. Augustine's has been down there. They came to nationals through prelims. They were beaten, went to was in the regionals again, and was beaten by Swedro SHS.
Yes.
And
So yesterday's contest. In fact, when we did the ballot and I saw the friends, I had a good laugh. I said, "This is revenge. This is it's so nice on so many levels." Because last year, Swedro was the reason why St. Augustine's didn't even qualify to come to the nationals in Accra. So I said, "Oh, okay, this is revenge, and this one is the rivalry part also." So it was interesting on different levels.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you realize that even their old boys were able to even build a complex, a science complex.
Yes,
for them.
they have invested
They
a lot.
really have invested because
Yes.
they really wanted to improve on the
Yes.
performance of
Yes.
the school at the National Science and
Yes,
Maths
and I
schools.
would like to use this point to re-emphasize what I have been saying all along, that it's about the preparation. It's got nothing to do with gender. There may be some factors on that side, but that is not the determining or the strongest determining factor. It's the preparation. If you prepare well, you will do well. You see that there are lesser known schools who have done very well this year. Look at TEPA, for example.
Pando also qualified for the first time.
Well, Pando is, I wouldn't call Pando a lesser known school, but their fortunes have been kind of fluctuating in the
But in terms of their
Nsmq.
performance at the National Science and Maths
It's been fluctuating.
Yes.
There have been times, if you go through the history, there have been times when they've done well and other times when they haven't done so well. So I'm happy for them because they haven't done this well in a while. And, but you see schools like that who are doing well now. I mean, who would have thought that Saint Ignatius of Loyola would
that's what I want to come to.
Yes, so it just means that it's the preparation. If you don't put in much effort, you cannot expect to go far in the competition because other people are putting in a whole lot.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So it's not really about gender. It's more about preparation, how you train your team to come in there. And the training, well, part of the training is psychological also. And that's why we have also got a team of psychologists to work with the teams and to help them to do well in the competition.
James, I mean, from the north, last year it was only Tamale SHS that was representing the entire the three regions of the north. Sandema, the two. But this year, Sandema has lost its seed, but it has got a replacement from the same area.
Yes.
St. Ignatius of Loyola, nobody, in fact myself, we didn't give them that chance to make it to the quarterfinals, but they did.
Ghana Secondary School.
Ghana Secondary School. So it means that 3 is an addition of 1 from last year's.
Yes. Yes. I mean, so 2 from Northern, 1 from Upper West.
Yes, yes. I mean, your school nearly, Tamale just nearly got kicked out from the 1A stage of competition. We want to find out from you what level of preparations are schools in the northern region or the 3 regions of the north putting together to make sure that at least for the quarterfinals they'll be able to make it to the semis.
Wow. I cannot speak for all the schools in the north, but I have a general idea. I think for the past years we haven't been preparing well, and sometimes it depends on the priority of the school. Some of the schools don't see it as anything to help the school in any way, so they don't put a lot of attention. And so resources to support the science and maths quiz team is always minimal. So I think that has been what has been worrying the northern schools for some time now. And I'm sure a lot of the heads are coming up and most of the old boys are supporting in a way, and so the interest is building up, and therefore more resources are being pushed to motivate staff and teachers and students who are in this team. That is why we are seeing the improvement. I'm sure subsequently we are going to see more better performances from the northern schools.
Absolutely. Do you want to chip something in there?
Oh, no, I agree with that. That is, again, preparation. And as more schools start taking the preparation a notch higher, they will see the dividends, you'll see it pay off when they come here. Because even if they lose, it will be a very strong showing. And I'm thinking of Anglican Kumasi in saying that.
Unfortunately for them too, they are Form 2 students.
Yes, so they have a chance of coming back next year. And I hope that they will use that opportunity to come back stronger, better and stronger. and I hope that next year we'll see them at the finals.
Hopefully,
I
hopefully.
hope so.
It's
They have good material.
Absolutely, they do.
They have very good material.
It's just unfortunate that we had to part ways with them at the 1A stage, just by a point.
It's always sad when it happens that way.
Yeah.
But someone has to win.
Very well.
Someone has to win.
I think for the cars or wires contest was actually, it was heated. There was a lot of energy in it than even the Infantipem August School one.
Because it was so close.
Yeah.
Very
it
close.
was keenly contested.
Yes. Seriously.
It was keenly contested. It was keenly contested.
Yes, with the Augusto one, because from the first round, there was a gap of, I think, 6 points at the first round, and by the time we're done with round two, it had increased, and we finished it with 20 points.
Yes.
So in that one, the heat is not like where it's 1 point. So it comes to my earlier point that even with the contest, which had lower scores than the others, the scores were close. So it was a close contest for those. Those ones tend to be exciting.
Yeah, MD, one thing that we cannot do away with when it comes to the National Science and Maths quiz is the preparations, or the performance, I should say, of the female or all-female schools.
I knew this one was coming.
Definitely. we just can't talk, we just can't do a show like this and looking at the performance of the all-female schools. Last year, we had a couple of them going to the quarterfinal, a number of them. We had Kobo Girls, we had Archbishop Porter Girls, we had St. Louis, Holy Child, and Wesley Girls. 5. But this time round, we only have one, just one, going through to the quarterfinals. I mean, in a year that we thought we are going to see an improvement, suddenly we've seen a dip.
It's disappointing. It's disappointing for us, especially as organizers too. It's disappointing. But hey, that is a competition, and these things are cyclical. You know, there are years when your team is strong, and there are years when your team is not so strong, and there are years when your team is really at ground zero, and you have to make it work anyway. So we hope that, like St. Augustine's, these girls' schools that have dropped out and these seeded schools that have dropped out so early in the competition will go back and do their homework so that they come back stronger and better next year.
Okay, James, would you say that the parent system or the pot system may also have a hand in this one as well?
The female?
Yes, the female.
I don't think so. I think the female issue is more of psychological than the pot system. I think when they are meeting their male counterparts on stage, I'm sure they have that inferiority complex. They feel that because they are ladies, if they do something little, cry, they have done something good. No. I think that is what is hitting the female. They can make it. But I think that psychological effect of being a female and cannot overcome the male.
But I'm sure that is where MD's point comes in, that is the preparations. The students, I mean, all the students that are presented over here, I hold the view that they are excellent students.
Yes, the creme de la creme.
Absolutely. But preparing them for the competition should be something that these schools should look out for.
Yes, I would add. Oh,
James, you would want to. MD would come later.
I don't think for schools, the schools that you mentioned, I don't think for the female schools, they don't have any problem with preparation, because when it comes to preparation, it's all about motivating teachers and motivating the students as well. And I don't think it's a problem with the female schools.
But what about psyching? I mean, you are coming for cameras all over you. Someone says cameras are more than now 10 to AK-47. All over you, you hear people chanting.
The boys have the cameras too.
Yes.
I think what might be a little extra, and which might go against some of the girls if they are not, you know, mentally strong enough to, or built up enough, I mean, to be confident. It's about confidence.
Yes.
It's about confidence. That sometimes when they see the crowds here, the boys and so on, they feel a little intimidated. And so I would say, I would single out Wesley Girls. That last year was the first year we saw them coming in a large group They were sitting here, sheeing Jama just like the boys.
Yes.
And I felt that for the first time, I had seen a girls' school also, raise morale of their contestants, and they did it. And they did the same thing this year. They did it such that they were just as loud as the boys were. I thought that it helped as kind of creating a cover, a little bit of a buffer between the contestants, their contestants on stage, and the rest of the audience. I felt that was a good thing to kind of help the girls psychologically. Perhaps the girls' schools can do, others can do similar. Yeah, because you see that with the boys' schools, they come in their numbers, they cheer, they sing, they make noise, they make their presence felt. So if you don't do same, even on the audience level, you are kind of subdued. So I can imagine that if you are sitting up here and you hear these people making noise and so on, and your place is quiet, especially when you start making mistakes, then you also dip.
You know, one thing I've also realized with the Cedar schools is that, I mean, all of them, those who were able to make it to the quarterfinals, they struggled to make their way through. But Wesley Girls was the only school I have identified to have made it easy through to the quarterfinals, quite easier through the quarterfinals. They had a point of 58 points, and in the second 55. And in the second round, in fact, they made it count in their favor. Are we likely to see another girls' school going into the semi-finals and probably the finals?
You want to take that? I think they are strong enough to go all the way up. I think they are. I think they are strong enough. They've shown that they are strong enough to go far. You see, it's not just about. Some people will argue that they didn't have such strong schools, but they answered their questions.
Absolutely.
See, when people raise that argument, what I say is that did they miss their questions? No, they got their questions. Yeah. And once you're able to answer your own questions and then add on the bonuses, your chances of winning are very high. So it wouldn't. Yes, it matters if you have strong schools in the contest. But the more important part is to be able to know enough to be able to answer your own questions.
Very well.
Because if you can do that, you should be able to win the contest.
Well, it will be our hope to see them go through. James, I know that you are itching to put in something over here, but let me take a break. When I come back, I'll pick your thoughts on the girls' school. Okay. Because this way we'll take a breather. When we come back, we look at the pairings for the quarterfinals and what we should expect starting from tomorrow. We'll be right back.
Here's innovation from Goyal that takes you further. New Goyal Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyal has innovated to stay ahead with expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyal Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyal. Good energy.
Thank you for staying with us. I still have in studio the Managing Director of Primetime Limited, organizers of the National Science and Maths Quiz, Nana Ikuyan-Kumasari, as well as the coach for Tamale SHS in the person of James William Akampilimba. Let's use the last 10 minutes or so to look at the quarterfinal fixtures. We have tomorrow, we would have our first 3 contests.
Yes.
And the first one promises to be exciting. Yes. We have former champions, Pope John SHS Presec, Legon, as well as St. John's SHS.
Yes, St. John's from Western region, right?
Yes. I mean, MD, this is going to be the contest of the day, don't you think so?
I think the contest of the day is actually going to be St. Ignatius of Loyola University Practice and Opokuwari in the second contest. I think that's going to be the contest of the day.
I mean, looking at
for me,
well, that's you.
Yes.
But looking at the first contest, we have former champions in there. The likes of Pope John SHS has won it once. Presec Legon has also done it before.
Yeah, 5 times. They are the highest.
Absolutely, the record
have
holders.
The highest, yeah, the record
but
holders.
St. John's SHS also made a great
impression this year. Yes, and I'm impressed.
Absolutely.
They've been, in fact, you see, one thing that we didn't look at when we were talking about the cedar schools dropping out, 17 of them, and new ones coming in, is even where they are situated. You're seeing we are getting some extra ones from Western region, St. John's.
Yeah.
I
would say it's a replacement for Archbishop Porter Girls.
Well, probably. But regions that didn't have that many are now getting that, and others are losing out. Central region has lost one spot.
But the Pope John Presec St. John's School,
it will be
which
a good
of them?
contest.
But which of them do you think it's likely to go through to the semi-finals?
Having seen the 3 schools compete, I would think that Presec would get it. I would think. I'm only looking at their performance at the 1/8.
But James, do you agree?
And their
do you agree to that?
Yes, I think Presec will go through that one easily. It wouldn't be any problem for them. But the most competitive one tomorrow is going to be the last contest between Kumasi Academy, Ghana, SHS, Tamale, and Addis Ababa College.
Why do you say that?
I'm saying that because Kumasi Academy this year,
they are really good.
They are really good. And Addis Ababa is also on fire. Ghana Secondary on fire as well.
And on Friday, we have another 3 contests.
Yes.
We have St. John's Grammar coming up against Tepa, which this is the
and
first time.
Academy. Tepa's improved. They've impressed me so much this year. I hope they're able to beat the other 2 and move on to the semi-finals. That would be really something. The second contest is going to be the contest of the day.
Absolutely.
Prempeh College, Achimota School, and Wesley Girls. This year, Prempeh College was not impressive. No. 25 points.
Yes, 25.
At 1/8.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they won it.
Yeah.
With 25 points. But if that's the same performance they're going to be putting up, then they're not going to go far. Because Wesley Girls won't let them go.
James, I want to pick your thoughts on the last day of quarterfinal fixtures. We have Keta SHS coming up against Otibuaten as well as Chimu SHS. Chimu has improved significantly this year. They've shown to everybody why they were at the finals of the maiden edition of the Greater Accra Championship. Which school do you see going through?
I think Chimu will go through. Looking at their performance so far, I think they have actually impressed me, and I think they will go through.
Wish them all the best.
Yes.
But MD, we can't leave without talking about the quarterfinals, which happens to be the money zone.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen Prudential Life Insurance sponsoring the problem of the day.
The Nsmq
Star, which happens to be the one that is for the round 3.
Yes.
That is the problem of the day.
Yes.
We've seen 8 schools.
8 schools, yes, and 2 at the
1/8 stage.
The 1/8. That's St. Ignatius of Loyola and Opokuwari. But it's been good so far, and so other schools that have already left the competition maybe have lost their contests, but still got something to go home with, and I think that was wonderful. But the money zone is going to be exciting. As we did last year, the final scores will be multiplied by 5 cedis.
Wow.
5 Ghana cedis at this point, at the quarterfinals. And so and at the semi-finals will be 10, and then 15 at the grand finale. The Nsmq Star is still going on. at the quarterfinals, it's 700 Ghana cedis for an NSMQ star.
That's an increment from the 180.
From 600, yes, to 700. So the money zone is sponsored by GCB Bank, and we are really grateful to them for coming back on to put smiles on the faces of our quarterfinalists, because at this stage it becomes really, you know, when you lose, it's
at this point, I would always wish I can't be a contestant to be on stage to compete for this money. But anyways, this is where we would have to draw the curtains on today's NSMQ review show. It's a pleasure having the Managing Director of Primetime Limited, Nana Ikuya Nkumasari, come in. Madam, you're welcome, and thank you very much for joining me on the show. And James William Akampilimba, who is the coach for Tamale SHS.
You should have asked him about
his contest.
I decided to put him down.
I know definitely he will go for his. I mean, he will say Tamale SHS, but it's going to be, it's going to be tough for them.
When you're in a competition, you're not going to meet opponents. You are meeting the questions.
Absolutely.
True.
Absolutely.
True.
The questions.
True. That's a good way to look at it.
Remember that we are moving from one stage to another.
Yes.
And the level of questions, the difficulty will also increase. So it won't be that easy.
At this point, I could only wish you the very best.